Welcome back to Rocket Talk. I'm Connor, and finally, it's good to be back after this long break. So I've been away from the show for a month longer or something like that. So this is actually my first show back, and I have none of my regular hosts right now, actually. So we just watched the Xbox Bethesda showcase, and I have brought on an oldie but goodie, a good friend of the podcast and a good friend of the old show, Nerdmageddon, the former host, Joel Harmer.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's so good. It is so good. Been watching some of the E3 nerdy goodness and then drinking a couple of adult beverages here and there. So I'm really feeling myself right now. So you and I, we were texting during the showcase, and I remember you and I were both just like, wow, Xbox is really coming out guns a-blazing for this one, because they truly felt like they really needed to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a great conference, and I love just how much they make it work. Like, they make Game Pass worth it. So,
my God,
every
yes.
year. I mean, what is it? They said at the beginning it was going to be 27 or 30 games announced, and 27 of them were going to be day one Game Pass.
And that is ridiculous. It is the best deal in gaming.
Oh yeah, it is. It's insane. And then like it's nice too because you get those on PC as well. So it's. Microsoft is doing all the right stuff, and it's nice because they got their console stuff. They love their console stuff, but they also they're like, we want PC people to have fun with our stuff too, and so they're really getting into that PC audience. Where Sony's like, we'll take a game every once in a while and throw it on PlayStation, if we feel like it.
And so the Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. Microsoft is stepping up its game, pun fully intended. And did you see this? This is kind of a side thing right now because it's not part of Showcase. But did you see the announcement that Microsoft is trying to sell TVs that have the Xbox hardware built into it, so you can just play games straight from the TV?
Yeah, I was actually just talking to my roommate about that earlier today. I thought that was insane. They said they're going to focus, like they're still going to have a focus on consoles, and they even said they're already working on stuff past the Series X. But yeah, like they had they said TVs, or they were even like thinking about the possibility of like Fire Stick type stuff, where you just plug it in, you can just play it like that, which is insane. I mean, it was funny how it came full circle, because I was a little kid. You used to have like those little channels where you could play like those little games on the TV, and now it's going back that way, where it just says you don't need a console or a PC anymore. You just turn on your TV and it's there. Exactly,
because that's the future of gaming. Basically, is cloud gaming, and people who want to have their consoles will still have their consoles. But if you want to do completely digital, you can just buy the specially made TV for it.
Cloud gaming is the way to go if it's done right. And Microsoft with xCloud, I haven't had a chance to try it because it's just now about to come to iPhone finally. But I know I've heard for like Android it was doing great. Like people who did testing said there was like pretty much no delay or anything. They did what Stadia couldn't, and they did it right.
Luke actually had Stadia for a while, actually. To be honest, I don't know if he still has it or not, but he gave it a good try for quite a while. He said it just, like, the game collection is not good, and it does not run well, and so it's not worth the money.
The issue with Stadia is that it was Google who was doing it, and as much as I like them, they are not good at keeping up on their projects. They start something to get everybody hyped for it, and then they drop it.
Yes.
And Stadia, I'm surprised they're still running Stadia, but I mean they closed they had like an in-house company who was going to make games, and they closed that company. So they're not making games anymore. Now it's just...
Did they even have long enough to get their feet under them? Did they? No. It doesn't even seem like they gave them a good enough try.
I see Stadia maybe lasting another year, maybe 2 years, but I don't see it going much further just because I think Google's already lost interest in it.
I'm not even really I'm not this way or that way about Stadia, but I mean, at least give it more than, I don't know how long it's been out, but not long enough, in my opinion, for it to really be to really get a hold in the market. But if they're really trying to get a hold of the market, they're late to the game.
Yeah. Well, they're both late and first because they were before Microsoft ever did anything with xCloud. It's just Microsoft's done it better.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like pretty much Google's like, we got this idea. Microsoft was like, I like that. We're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it a lot better because we're gonna put our entire Game Pass catalog on there day one.
Yes, yes, and of all the Game Pass games coming to, of all the games coming to Game Pass, which one are you looking forward to most? Let's go day one.
That's easy, because this is like my favorite game. It's Halo. Halo Infinite, hands
as
down.
if I even needed to ask. And so, from the showcase, did you like what you saw?
Oh yeah. I know going into it, especially given last year's presentation, little worried, not a whole lot, because I have faith. I think 343 was going to do fine, but I didn't think the stuff from last year looked bad, but I know a ton of people did. You know, you got Craig the Brute and everything. Which I hope they Easter egg somehow in the game. But no, like watching it, I mean that campaign or like that campaign trailer was insane. They were talking like they showed a little bit of. I guess none of it was gameplay, but I mean it just looked
teaser.
Beautiful. And,
yes.
And then you got the whole thing with them, like with him talking to the not Cortana AI.
Right.
And then like she says Cortana was deleted, and I was like, what?
That's that right there is going to draw some interest.
My big fear of that part is because it seems 343 has a habit of doing this. I'm afraid with Halo 5 they set Cortana up to be the next big bad, and then they're just going to insta get rid of her at the beginning of this game.
Oh my god!
Because they did the same with the Elite Jewel Mandala at the beginning of like it was a big bad guy they set up throughout Spartan Ops on Halo 4 was like the after game story, and then through a bunch of comics, and then they killed him off in the first cutscene of Halo 5.
What were they expecting from that? Like, what was the strategy around that?
I don't know. I think 343 is getting better. They're doing a lot of their stuff better. They went from making it to where you had to get the full story by doing more than just the games, to where because like they back then with like Halo 4 they had comics, books, and everything that was like the full story. Like Halo 4 is a good one. In Halo 4, you're fighting a Forerunner known as the Didact. It dies at the end of Halo 4, quotations, but it doesn't actually die. There's a comic series afterwards called The Next 72 Hours, where its chief meets up with his team, Blue Team. They go to a ring, and he actually kills the Didact then.
Oh, okay. So it's just drawing people more into the lore outside of the games, keeping people in the universe. If
you're not a person who reads the comics or like the books, all you know is the game stuff. So with Halo 4 and Halo 5, they were essentially being like, if you didn't read these, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. Well, with Infinite now, they've even said because like they came out with a book that was supposed to come out like a month before Infinite was originally supposed to come out, called Halo: Shadows of Reach. Mm-hmm. And they said, if you read that book, there'll be some things you'll appreciate more with Infinite, but you don't need to read it to still understand everything with Infinite, and that's what I prefer more. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I'm hoping they don't just... I'm hoping there's more to the game than that trailer where she's like, oh yeah, Cortana's been deleted. Because that's a huge character just for them to just go, alright,
My next question was going to ask, what did you not like, if there was anything? Is that it?
That would be it. Is I'm a little afraid that they're just gonna drop Cortana, which if they're dropping it, it's because they want to focus more on the new faction called the Banished to be the main bad guys, which is reasonable. They would be a good enemy faction, but Cortana's too big of a character for them just to throw away and not really do anything with.
Mm-hmm.
So that
is Cortana. Hasn't she been around the entire time?
Yeah, she was around since Halo 1, Halo 1, 2, 3, and then technically she sacrificed herself at the end of 4, but then came back in 5 as essentially a bad guy.
Okay, and when she came back, did that make you feel cheated at all? It's like, oh, she sacrificed herself, and now the sacrifice means nothing?
To me, no, but I'm a big lore reader, so I knew a lot of the stuff leading up to it and how she kind of would have survived. Okay. But once again, it was like if you didn't read the books, and I could have seen how it would have made you feel cheated.
Sure. Okay.
But no, otherwise, for the campaign portion of what they showed, very excited. I thought it looked great. I know everyone last year was saying the graphics didn't look good. I thought it looked beautiful. Mm-hmm. and I got that Series X. So I'm ready to just test that out.
Hell yeah!
See how it's gonna go.
And then I gotta ask your thoughts on the multiplayer.
Oh, well, so the multiplayer, that's another one. I know a lot of people were like, "What are they gonna do?" Because people are still trying to figure out how they're gonna work microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this, after this campaign, like after that trailer, they went onto their website and they posted a lot more stuff about it. And they also said over the course of this week, leading up to the 24th, they're going to announce a lot more about the multiplayer. But I thought it looked great. I'm glad it's balanced, or it's going to be power weapon control maps again, which is pretty much like both teams are fighting to get that rocket launcher to get that advantage and stuff.
Yes.
Which is going to be great because they tried doing different stuff with that in Halo 4. It went terribly wrong. So Halo 5 we'll go back to that. And this one, it seems it's going to be better. I am very excited for that grapple hook.
Yes. That looks so dope.
Oh, yeah. You could grapple up to air vehicles and hijack them. You grapple weapons to yourself and stuff. Like, I want to get my hands on it because I want to give it a try. I was so excited for it. The armor looks great. That samurai armor at the end of the trailer, I was so excited for.
Oh my god, that was sexy.
Oh, it was
that
great.
Was so cool.
Yes. I want to see more. I have a friend who was very hesitant on it because he's a big customized guy. And which is, I think it's part we're going to come to here soon, but since the multiplayer portion is going to be free to play on everything, you don't have to pay for the multiplayer portion. It's free on Xbox and PC and fully cross-play and cross-save, which I think is amazing. You can play it wherever you want. It is awesome.
Really trying to develop that ecosystem.
Yeah. But since it's free to play, there's going to be some sort of microtransaction.
Yes.
And one thing they're doing, which I know this upset the community a lot, is the color system is different. In every other Halo game, you had like your primary, your secondary, then like a emblem color or whatever. This one, it's going to be shaders. So you have like you pick a thing and it's just going to be like a skin for your armor, kind of.
Okay.
And people are a little worried about that because that's probably how they're going to do it. They said any microtransactions are going to be purely cosmetic and not needed to get the full experience of the game. It'll be like how like Fortnite works. Like you don't need it, but you can pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see more on how they're going to work all that because I think the gameplay is going to be amazing. But you can have great gameplay and still ruin it based on other mechanics. And with how Halo always was with like getting your armor and stuff, I'm afraid they're gonna maybe mess that part up.
Yeah.
But
before we move on to the next game, overall, your thoughts, and do you have any final, questions about Halo?
Overall, I think it's going to be amazing. I'm excited for it. I want to see more. I want to find out more about what the story actually is going to be about, what the multiplayer is going to be. I know they said they're going to try to have a beta at some point by the end of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my question is currently just more of what they're going to do microtransaction-wise, because I know that's a rough area to trespass with any game nowadays, because especially with loot boxes being the way they were, which they said there will be no loot box in this game. Whatever you purchase, you're going to know what you're buying.
And for any other game that might have those, I think like we all can be in agreement that there's a good way and there's a bad way to go about microtransactions, and whatever community is being screwed over by microtransactions, social media is so prevalent that we can let our thoughts be known and they will change because of how much pressure we can put on these studios. So hopefully, if there are microtransactions, I really hope it's not gonna be shitty and just piss off the Halo community, because you do not need to piss off the Halo community.
Oh well, they're always mad anyways. I love the Halo community. I'm a part of it, but they're always just angry about something. I saw after the multiplayer trailer, someone posted and went, "Man, those multiplayer graphics look bad." Someone commented and went, "Yeah, you're right. Since I can't see every pixel of every piece of sand, I'm angry." Like, no one's fully happy. I mean, it looks so much better than it did last year. Like, I'm glad they took a year longer to work on it, because with what they showed last year and the fact that they needed a year longer to get it to where it is now, I was a little worried about what they were going to sell to the people last year.
Yes, and that's the thing is, I've had this conversation on the podcast before. Nobody cares if they have to wait a little bit longer if you're going to get a great game, but everyone is going to hate you if you rush the game and give us bullshit.
Yeah, look at Cyberpunk. That's a great example. I mean,
exactly, and it's going to be fixed. But come on, why do you make us play a broken game and we're paying full price for it? Like, so earlier I said just now I said like nobody's going to care if they have to, they're going to care a little bit that they have to wait, but it's more of the preference, which is better in the long run,
Yeah, there's a good balance, because I know this is kind of getting off on on a sidetrack here, but I know there's a bit of a balance because Cyberpunk was that good one. I feel like with that one the company got bullied by both their own investors and by the fans to get the game out, because they were getting death threats and stuff saying we want the game now.
Oh my god.
Which is terrible. You should never send a death threat for any reason. There's no reason at all.
I'm actually kind of shocked that I'm shocked by that, because it's the video game community, which is toxic in general.
Yeah, there's no reason, but I feel like that's the reason why it got released in the way it came out, was because they were like, our investors are telling us we need this now. The fans are like demanding we get this now, and then they're like, "We'll just do it." But I think they also knew what they were doing to put out, because like we never saw an Xbox One, PS4 version of the game running. It was always PC or next gen consoles. So I think with that game, that game's a perfect example of everyone's at fault.
Sure.
Like I the company should have stuck to their guns and said, "We need more time. We can't do this." But at the same time, like, fans shouldn't have been sitting there going, "Do it or we'll kill your family." And investors
that is disgusting. And I really hope. I mean, Rocket Talks doesn't have that many fans, anyways. All 23 of them, I think we have on subscribers. I'll have to go triple check that. But if you're one of those people, like, please kindly leave Rocket Talk, the community. Please do. Yeah. We do not condone that under any circumstances, and it's just disgusting that people have to put up, and then you get put up with that, and then you get Cyberpunk, and it's just a whole mess. But I really hope that Halo looks fantastic. I hope it lives up to the hype. Let's something else that is getting us super freaking hype, and I want you to give us the good, the bad, and the ugly of Starfield.
So Starfield, I'm glad we saw something. I think when they showed that trailer, they said that it was pre-alpha, but like in-game footage, which is awesome because it looked stunning. They still haven't really said a lot about what the game is. I assume it's going to be on League, like how Skyrim or Fallout is, but just from like looks alone, it looks great. I mean, it's Bethesda. They do well with any of their open world games, so I mean it should be fine. I'm not worried, because I mean Bethesda hasn't really let anybody down. You'll get bugs with their games, that happens, but it's never enough to ruin the game. Right. And now that they actually have Microsoft backing them, I mean that could even change.
And I knew that they were going to focus heavily on Bethesda, but they came out right off the bat with Bethesda, pushing that to the front. This is part of us now. We are together, and I'm kind of on the same thing. Like, it's so cool, but like I'm not going to make any sort of decision until I know exactly what I'm getting into, because I've been fooled by awesome trailers before.
Yeah, and I mean, you get a great trailer and then it could be wrong. I want to see gameplay to get a bit more. I know they said it's a complete new IP. I assume it's just going to be Skyrim, but in space. That's my assumption. It's going to be like, I can't think of my assumption is to be like, can't remember the name of the game, but there was like a game where you could travel around to a bunch of different planets, and you just like, it was pretty much just like overworld. You traveled around, explored, did quests.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was the game that flopped terribly, and then they rebuilt the game, and now it's actually good.
So
like,
don't you like
came out, it was terrible.
You have a bunch of suits that you are in, right? And each one, like, you got a bruiser, you got a speedster, you got electric.
No, that's Warframe. No, that's
not
Warframe,
okay.
But,
yep, you know exactly. Yes, it is. I was thinking Warframe.
It's gonna bug me now if I don't. figure
No,
out.
that's totally fine. Do what you gotta do.
I googled space game that flopped and it came up No Man's Sky. That's what it was. Yeah, pretty much it flopped, but they stuck with it, and I respect a company that goes, hey, this wasn't good, let's fix it. And
Well, you know, if you
Bethesda,
can own it.
yeah, Bethesda did that with Fallout 76, which they announced their next expansion in that one. But I mean, that was one that game flopped, and they went, yeah, we realized this game did not do good. This was our first time trying to do this kind of thing with Fallout. We're gonna stick with it. We're gonna fix it, and now it feels like a great game. So I know that at least if Starfield comes out and it's not good, they'll make it good. It's just
They just need a soft opening as opposed to a grand opening.
Yeah.
That's,
this game,
yeah.
It's a good example of a lot of. I think companies need to start going to alphas a lot more. Like, yeah, it makes it. It puts a bit more time on the game because you have to have like an alpha version ready. You have to do that testing for a while, and then you take that data and then turn it around for the final product. But it guarantees the final product is going to be good.
Yes.
So like, I would love if they were like, hey, we're gonna give you guys like a hour-long alpha or something with this game. Like, it'll just be open world, free for all, do whatever you want for an hour, then it kicks you out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool because then people would be able to get a hands-on, get an idea of what they're doing, and then they could send them bug lists and things.
Mm-hmm. And this game is going to be an exclusive, and I mean, come on, Xbox with exclusives that are exciting.
Yeah.
What is going on here, man? So do you think now that especially with the acquisition of Bethesda, do you think Xbox in the near future is going to be on the same level as, and dare I say it, PlayStation with their exclusives?
I mean,
near future,
maybe.
like within the next 10 years.
Yeah. I could see it. It all just depends because Bethesda makes great games. They're great games. They're fun games. They're never really compelling stories. And that's where Sony shines us. Their games are great, compelling stories. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to feel stuff playing those, whether it be happy, sad, angry, whatever. There's not really a lot of Microsoft games that do that. And Bethesda games are great. They've won Game of the Year multiple times, but they've never really been... Like, I didn't play Skyrim and go, I want to cry now. Or I've never played a Fallout game and been like, I'm happy and angry at this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll both have their own, and I know even though Microsoft is exclusive, their games aren't fully exclusive because they are still putting them on PC.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love that they're like, our games are exclusive to console and PC, and then even then PC could just be the Windows Store.
Right.
Which is still Microsoft owned, but it's
so
just
like
nice.
It's exclusive, but it's kind of like a cheat.
Yeah, it's just nice that they have something now against Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the longest time, Sony's like, oh, you got Halo and Gears of War, well, we have Uncharted, God of War, Last of Us, just a huge catalog of great games. Those games don't have multiplayer or anything to do after you beat the story, but they're still great things. Like, I know right now I'm playing through Days Gone on PC.
Oh, yeah?
That was a PlayStation exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would love to see Microsoft get better story games and just get more in-depth with that kind of stuff so they could compete. But I also know Microsoft isn't really trying. They've said they're not trying to compete with Sony anymore. Like, they don't need to.
No.
And I agree, because right now their competition more is things like Amazon and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're going more into the PC market and Sony isn't. Sony's like, we'll put a PC game every once in a while. Just to make people happy.
So, as far as like are any of the games on here, do you think, other than Starfield, and we don't even know what that truly is, any games up here that you think truly could rival anything at all that Sony has? And there's still more. Like, we still have to break these down, but just so our listeners know, we are not going off of notes right now. We just got on and started recording.
Honestly, out of everything that got announced today, there's nothing here that screams this would be a Game of the Year game.
Nothing.
No, except for Starfield. Starfield possibly could be. Halo Infinite possibly could be. But they're going to be they would be Game of the Year games if Sony didn't put out a good story game.
Which is unlikely, because they're going to.
Yeah, because I was about to say I know God of War, but that got delayed to next year. I mean, they could compete, but I don't like none of. I don't really know anything that they would compete against because like I'm sure Halo Infinite's gonna have a great story, but it wouldn't be on par with like Uncharted or something. So I think Microsoft will do fine, and I don't think Sony's announced anything this year that would really help compete them against Microsoft. I mean, they still have a PS5 with one exclusive game, and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
no, like they didn't really announce anything today that to me screamed is what we need to kick Sony in the teeth, except for the Bethesda exclusives. Which I mean, that was the whole point of them getting Bethesda is they have something to say. Hey, Sony, screw you. We got these now.
Yeah, yeah, but it's kind of a little delayed. Screw you. It's a long
Yeah.
time coming that Microsoft has needed exclusives. That's been a gripe from Xbox fanboys. I'm going to call them. I could call them Xbox loyalists. Have been griping about for years. I guess further going down the line. Forza Horizon 5 is very pretty. I don't care necessarily about Forza. It's just gorgeous. That's all I have to say.
Oh yeah, and like any racing game, they're only there to show the power of what a console can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Horizon's so popular, is because they look beautiful. Same thing with Gran Turismo on PlayStation. They're there to show, I have this high-power console, here's what it can look like. But yeah, Forza, I'm not a racing game guy. Mario Kart's as far as I go for racing. But Forza Horizon 5, it looked stunning when I was watching that. I was like, this is amazing with how beautiful it is. And it even said, too, that was all in-game footage.
Yes.
So like everything there, they recorded, and it looked great. I know with Forza Horizon 4, they did a lot of fun stuff with that. I mean, you had the whole Lego expansion and stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when 5 comes around, it'll have a long life of a lot of fun stuff that comes out. It's not my cup of tea. I might download it and drive around for a bit just to be like, oh, this looks really cool, but I won't play a lot of it, but it does look great. Like, if you're a racing fan, it's going to be a great game for sure.
Jaw-dropping. And then same with, and I was texting you before, and I think you also are in the same boat for me with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Wow, that is beautiful. And that's just kind of the same thing with Forza, showing off the power.
Yep, it's... Oh, yeah, I think they said, like, in order to have, like... Because that was on PC first. I think the conference today was them saying they were actually bringing it to Xbox now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When it was out on PC, I think they said in order to, like, have that game run at, like, its peak, best possible performance, you need, like, a $5,000 computer.
Oh, my lord.
And even then, it would still be running it hard. Like, that game can run some stuff. But, I mean... it also generates the entire world, and it does some amazing things too. Like if they were to say, like, there's a hurricane in Florida right now, and you flew a plane there, it actually shows the storms and everything. Like,
wow!
It tries to real time.
That's insane.
As much as possible.
What kind of delay do you think? Are we talking hours? Are we talking minutes?
I don't know for sure. I haven't looked that much into it, but I'm sure there's some kind of a delay. I don't know how exactly they would keep that fully up to date at all times, but it's insane that they can even just do that. They could be like, hey, there's a storm going on in this area. I'm going to fly through it, see what's going on.
That's actually borderline creepy, too.
Oh, yeah. I was telling a friend today when we were watching the conference, like the Forza Horizon part, because they were, like, this friend I was talking to, they're a huge racing fan, and I was like, I want them to make another crew game. Because those games, The Crew, they were essentially like you could drive through the entire country, if I'm correct, like all of America, and it would take a long time to go from one side to the other. And I was like, I want them to make a driving game that's pretty much like Microsoft Flight Simulator. The entire world.
That would be, I mean, because then you would have to create life on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm sure they're creating life in the air. And maybe you could see people. I've never played a flight simulator game once in my life. But like on the ground, like now you have to have traffic and you have to have pedestrians and you have to have, whatever's like whatever little landmarks are there. That's.
It's definitely beyond what I think we currently have as like technology, because with all that, I mean, especially if it's a all online game, 'cause that's what Microsoft Flight Simulator, you could be flying and pass another person. If they had a racing game like that, or like a driving game, then yeah, you would have to generate so much stuff at one time. Those servers would be on fire.
Yes, but it would be that is not off the table though. Like probably, I bet they would have that kind of technology within 10 years. 10 years max down the line, we'd have something that's kind of Flight Simulator but on the ground.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next thing here. So believe it or not, guys, like we were watching the Sea of Thieves trailer. And Joel and I were like, this is actually interesting. And so part of that is because Captain Jack Sparrow is now going to be joining the Sea of Thieves universe, which is awesome.
So when I was watching that, there's like they're doing like the opening part of the trailer where this person's talking and they go, in order for us to do all this, we have to save one soul. And I just said, Jack Sparrow. I didn't know. I didn't know, and I was further ahead. Like the person I was watching with, they had a delay on their end. They're like, really? I was like, no, I don't know. No, wait a second. Then you see this guy trying to like get the dog's attention with a bone, and you hear him talk like, that's Jack Sparrow. Yeah, Sea of Thieves. It's a fine game. It's a fun game. I'm not really a big fan of it because I'm to the point now in my life. I'm playing something I want to progress and upgrade things. Mm-hmm. That game's it's only cosmetics. That's all it is. It's nothing else. It's a fun game to mess around on every once in a while, but I can't go hard into like some people do. That being said, if they're going to do an original story with Pirates of the Caribbean, I'm in. All the way.
Yes, because it's so cool.
Looked awesome. Davy Jones was in it. Like
which means the Kraken is probably in it, and I think there is some sort of Kraken-like monster in Sea of Thieves. But I wonder if they're going to go for more of the type of Kraken from a Dead Man's Chest.
That'd be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Yeah. No, it looked great, and I mean, I don't know what they're doing for the voice because it sounded like Johnny Depp.
I seriously, I swear they hired him, didn't they? Because it sounds just like him. Are they like just taking sound bites from movies and promotions and putting it in, or did they hire him, or did they just get someone who's a really, really good voice actor?
I want to know more about that because I mean I know what is it? Disney was I think Disney was dropping him from Pirates of the Caribbean because of the whole stuff going on with him.
Yeah, him and Amber Heard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well.
So I don't know if, but it sounded just like him. So I mean, I could see them using clips from like movies or things, or I mean, maybe they got someone who sounds just like Johnny Depp, or they got Johnny Depp in to do some voice lines, which I am all for.
Yes, yeah, this is so cool. Sorry, I was gonna say, this is coming out July 7th? Is that what they said?
Either July 7th or June 22nd. I'm on the
two very different
July
dates.
7th. Yeah.
July 7th. Cool. Okay. Yeah, so that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on that. I'm not going to be getting the game just yet. I do want to see what it's like.
My apologies. July 7th was for the Fallout 76 update.
Oh, okay. Sea of Thieves on June 22nd. Yes. Let's talk about Fallout though, and I've only ever played Fallout New Vegas, and I still haven't even completed the game I've had it since I've had that game for 10 years now on Xbox 360. My Xbox is hooked up. My Xbox 360 is hooked up to my TV, collecting dust right now. But I'm just gonna give all of this to you, like most of these games on here. But Fallout, from what you saw today, give me the good, the bad, and the ugly, and any questions that they've left you with.
It looked great on that trailer. I haven't... So they fixed Fallout 76. They made it a lot better than what it was when it first came out. It feels like a Fallout game now. For some reason, I can never seem to get myself into the game enough to play it. And I know, recently they had a Brotherhood of Steel update where the Brotherhood of Steel came into West Virginia and was doing stuff. This update, though, makes me want to start playing it. Because it looks like there's actually going to be a choice and consequences. And that's something they've messed up lately in Fallout games, because that was my one gripe about Fallout 4 was none of your choices felt like they had any weight to them. or
Oh,
anything.
okay.
In this game, they were showing that trailer, and I was like, wow, it looks like they might actually make you make some decisions that could have some impact. And I'm all for that. So I thought it looked great. I know they've turned the game around, so I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I wasn't expecting it. I was a bit more surprised with the thing they announced afterwards. It's going to come out, I think they said next year or later on this year, with Fallout the Pit.
Yes, that looked fucking cool.
I never played that on Fallout 3, but I know I heard it was a huge update, or it was a huge thing that people loved it. So the fact that they're bringing that to 76, I think is awesome, and I'm glad that they're still keeping the game alive, because I know I was worried for a bit that they were just going to drop the game, because they're like, well, it didn't go well. We know we got it to a good spot, but we'll just go back to doing single player Fallout. I'm glad they're still keeping this game going, like how they're keeping ESO alive and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it looks great, and I'm glad too. It's free.
It's free. That's amazing. Yeah. And so Fallout 76 will be coming July 7th. So that's from our little mix-up there before. Anything else for Fallout before we move on to? I kind of want to talk about Grounded.
No, Grounded looked awesome.
I've played Grounded a little bit. I've not gotten too deep into that, so I'm not going to claim anything about that. But I have played Grounded a little bit. I played not on arachnophobia mode for a little while, dealt with one spider, went to arachnophobia mode, and this looks so dope. What is your experience with Grounded?
Same thing. I played Grounded. Had a thing where I heard a noise, turned around, big old spider in my face. I screamed, I'm deathly afraid of spiders. And that was the end of my Grounded experience. Never touched the game again. I also mainly because too, I just at the time I think I was really into Destiny, so I just didn't get into it, and I never went back to play it. But it's a game I've wanted to get more into, because I like the concept. I think it's really cool. I love open world survival games like that.
Yes.
This
and
update
looks gorgeous.
This update looked great. That brood mother was terrifying, even when they put it in arachnophobia mode.
Yes. So it's called Shroom and Doom, and it introduces microscopic pets, castle environments, achievements, and a grotesque arachnid named the brood mother, as you had just mentioned. That was the biggest nope I've had in a very long time.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, man, if I saw that in the game, I wouldn't want to fight it.
I love the sarcasm they had. Actually, a couple of these trailers went on sarcasm, but this one was just like, and we're giving you something that literally nobody was asking for, a big-ass broodmother spider. It's like, yeah, thank you, I hate it.
I thought it was going to be a snake. I've said for a while they should put a snake in that game.
Yeah, they should. Like, just a little gardener snake that would be absolutely lethal to no one except children of that size.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be, and then, you saw the leg, I was like, oh no, it's just a huge spider that I don't want. I'd rather see a snake than a spider. But, it looked awesome. So I think when that comes out, that might be my excuse to hop back into the game and give it a try again.
It looks like a ton of fun. My computer is not very powerful, so when I ran it, because I don't have an Xbox Series X, nor do I have an Xbox One. My brother has the Xbox One. He took it back after college, so I ran it a little bit on my computer, and it's not. I have to have it on its lowest resolution and everything, and it's still, my computer is running like a maniac. But that's something I might actually play again. I don't know too much about Psychonauts, but there's a second one coming. Do you have much experience with Psychonauts, and/or do you have thoughts on it?
I don't. I watched a walkthrough of that game a few years ago. It was a cool game, but I'm surprised they're still doing a sequel, because that first game was an original Xbox title.
That was the last time that one came out?
Yes.
Wow.
Original Xbox. So the fact that they're rebooting the series, I am amazed by.
Were people demanding it?
I don't know. I think it had a cult following, and I remember now. This game was crowdfunded. They put it up on Kickstarter, and it got crowdfunded. And it was like, I forgot what the goal was, but I think this game was like they got like 3 or like 10 times. It was got like a huge amount past the goal that the company was looking for the game.
Okay, wow. So I guess it
Yeah.
had a strong enough following. Interesting.
Yeah, everything I've seen for it looks good. I never played the first one because I didn't have an original Xbox, but it looks good. I might have to give this one a try whenever it comes out. I mean, I think that was another one too. It's gonna be Game Pass day one. That's the nice thing too. If you have Game Pass, so many of these games are just on their day one. It's like, yeah, I don't have to pay any money to give them a try. I can just
Yeah, dude.
just whatever I'm paying for the Game Pass subscription. That's it.
That is so. Yeah, really though, it is amazing. We do have to talk about Outer Worlds.
Oh yeah, I love Outer Worlds. I just have never played it. I tried playing it, but I have such a hard time getting in open world games now.
You getting into them?
Yeah, it's weird. I love open world games, but like lately I find myself getting distracted by every little thing, so that I never progress through the game.
The best part of open world games. Yeah, did you play Breath of the Wild?
I never beat Breath of the Wild. Because
dude, it took me almost 180 hours before I actually decided to play the final boss.
I never made it to a boss in that game.
Bruh, dude.
Every time I would start, be like, all right, today's the day. I'm gonna get to a boss. 10 minutes later, I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff into a cooking pot, trying to see what kind of recipes I can make.
Yes, and that's the best part about these open worlds is that you can do that. But then the worst part is that you keep forgetting to do anything that progresses the story even a little.
Yeah, it exactly makes it tough. Like Outer Worlds just one, like I made a character, I played about 5 hours of the game. It was a lot of fun. It's like a good mix of Fallout with Borderlands. Like you like the Borderlands humor, but like with like the almost Fallout style of gameplay. It was a lot of fun, and I'm excited that they're doing a second one. I've never played the first.
And a lot of people were and this is the chatter I've heard on like chat boards on Reddit, message boards on Reddit, and I have no opinion on this. I just heard there's a lot of people saying it's so similar to the first that it's almost a little derivative and or redundant and or it's too similar to the first game. Have you heard anything about that? Do you have any say on that?
I haven't yet, but I think it might be a little too early to tell because they even said they have almost nothing to go off of besides the trailer they showed and a title, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I think essentially they're like, we're working on this. We want you guys to know we're working on this, but we have we'll know more going forward. But at the same time, if it's similar, that's not. I don't want to say it's not good and it's not bad, because at least you know what you're getting. People love the first one. Essentially, you're just getting more story in a second one. It'll essentially be a glorified expansion.
That's the thing is like expansions are great, but if you're going to be charging for a full game and it's too similar to the first, then why even bother? Why not just put out some sort of update or some sort of Is it a full game amount of content though? Because I once again I didn't play it enough to know for sure, but I assume to do everything in the game would probably take 100+ hours. Are you getting that exact same thing again from this game? Because if so, then I could see them justifying a full price. But if it was something like, you're gonna get a 10-hour story. That's it, dude. Not really anything else. Then that'd be like, okay, charge like $15-$20 for it. But once again, too, it's gonna be on Game Pass. Yeah, so either way, it's not even a loss. So. It's not even a loss at all.
Yeah,
maybe a loss of time.
People who don't have Game Pass, so
yeah, it sucks to be those people. Even I have Game Pass. Come on, get on our level. My level would be pretty easy to reach. Joel's level is a few paces ahead of mine.
What's up? I get a PS5. If I ever get a PS5, my level would be insane.
Your level would be unattainable.
I don't have to get it now because it's the only game I wanted to play on. They announced it's going to be on PS4, so.
Oh, nice, dude.
Look
at you over there living your best life.
I'm trying.
Personally, I don't care too much about these other games. Anything else that captures your attention that you really want to take note of?
So there were 3 more games that I was really excited for. One of them was Battlefield 2042.
Oh yes,
I'm a huge
actually that's the same one for me.
I'm a huge Battlefield fan. I love Battlefield.
How did I forget this one?
I love Battlefield, but I mean, Battlefield 1 was a lot of fun. Didn't really hold that long. Battlefield 5, I had fun with it. I know a lot of people didn't, but once again, didn't really hold that long before it just got boring. A lot of people were wanting to go back to a modern style Battlefield game, and they listened and went, all right, let's do it. And 2042 looks awesome. I know they dropped that.
This is the game where the guy ejected from his jet, fired a rocket launcher, and then went back into the same jet somehow, right?
Yep, and they paid homage to it in the trailer that dropped earlier this week, which was awesome. I'm so glad they did that. And then I saw people going, because like there was a part in the original trailer where they went, well, yeah, like there's a part where like an ATV goes off a building into a helicopter. They went, that's cool, but why didn't they put C4 on it? Because that's one of the things you can do with the game is you throw C4 in a vehicle, you have somebody drive it into another vehicle, then you blow it up with C4. The trailer they showed today, vehicle goes off a building into a helicopter, and a guy pushes his C4 and blows it up in air. And I mean, it looks great. They're bringing back Levolution, which I love, because Battlefield was always like, you had the massive destruction of like things that would just change the map. They're bringing that back. Tornadoes, there's storms that could just disrupt the entire flow. Mm-hmm. It looks great, and I'm very, very excited. I'm glad it comes out this year because I miss Battlefield. It's about time Call of Duty had a competitor again.
Dude, especially without live Call up of Duty's to the hype.
Because it's modern, and because they're going back to Levolution, I think it'll do as good as Battlefield 4, and a lot of people still play Battlefield 4 today.
Okay, so good. So cautious optimism or just full-on optimism, enthusiastic?
I'll say cautious. I mean, with them, I'll always be a little worried because it is DICE, and while they usually have good intentions with their stuff, they have been known to falter with a lot of their games. I mean, they haven't had a good... I think they've been good, but as like a mass community opinion, they haven't had a good Battlefield game in a while. And then they also were behind the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, which we all know was so bad it caused countries to look at how they do loot boxes.
That is incredible. And I think that has the most downvoted Reddit post of all time, right?
Yeah. Which, to their credit, they fixed the game. Battlefield 2 is an amazing game now. The only thing I'm sad about is they aren't doing any more content for the game. But I mean, it had that free weekend where it was like free to keep on Steam and Epic 2 months ago, and it broke Steam. They had to put out more servers for the game, and they're not working on it anymore. So like people loved it. It's just they had a terrible launch, and I get it. And I mean, I think that's how DICE usually works. I don't want to say that's how they work. Like that's just how they are. Like they do good games. It's just sometimes they aren't good at the initial start, and then if the initial start isn't good, sometimes people just don't want to keep it going afterwards. I'm surprised Battlefield 2 sells a following, but I mean, Battlefront or Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. I had fun, but people just weren't really into them. So,
sure. Yeah.
I'm sure this one's going to be great.
Yeah, it looks freaking awesome. I'm not even that big of a Battlefield guy, and that seriously, that trailer made me want to buy it right away. And everyone said that this is the most Battlefield trailer I've ever seen in my life. Those were the top comments.
Well, that's the best part too, is they're leaning into Battlefield. Like they know what people love about the game, and they went, "We're gonna do that with this." And that's what they were doing. You had the clip with the person jumping out of the jet, shooting his rocket launcher at another jet, getting back in. You had the ATV going into it. Like you had all these like shenanigans just going on that, and like they were just playing into this is Battlefield. We know what you want. We're gonna do it. And I think that's why this game will work. Is it seems like they actually know what people want now and go, all right, we're just gonna give you what you want.
Yeah, and that's
going to be awesome.
It's a self-awareness that a lot of them need. A lot of these
and in-game customization. That was another one I saw in the trailer. I'm so excited for that because there was a part where like they get in the elevator and like the guy while they're in the elevator, he's like changing attachments on his weapon. I love that.
That actually is pretty cool. What else? What else is cool before we wrap things up?
Another one I was excited for was we saw a little bit more stuff today on Back 4 Blood.
Yes, Back 4 Blood just looks so amazing, and I'm really excited for this spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead.
I'm really sad the game got delayed because I think it was supposed to originally come out in August. Now we're just getting a beta test in August, and the game's going to come out in October. But if they need to do more work, I'm okay with it as long as it's a great game.
Mhm.
I'm excited to get my hands on it because I miss Left 4 Dead.
So bad.
So
So bad. And if I remember right, Valve just they are completely aware everyone and their mother wants it. They have all the ability to make it, they just won't.
And I mean, Valve has even said too, they don't have to make games anymore. They have so much revenue coming in, they could never make a game again and be fine. I'm surprised they did that Half-Life Alyx game
But
for
that's
VR
just
and
it's
stuff.
so that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Is that we have money, like we don't need any more games. Yeah, no, it's not about the money, it's about making games.
Well, that's the thing though, and I get it, just because look at like so much negative publicity that can come out in games too. Like if you don't do everything right, all of a sudden you get dragged through the dirt. Valve's like, we don't have to get dragged through the dirt anymore. We have
Sure.
all this stuff, and like Steam, like, cause like Valve is Steam pretty much. Like they're like, Steam is how we get all of our money now. We don't have to get dragged through the dirt anymore if we don't want to. Or they're like, we could take our literal time, years upon years, never tell anyone, and just put out a game when we know it's 100% perfect ready. And like I could see they have Left 4 3 or Left 4 Dead 3. I could see they have that game made, ready, and it's just sitting on ice waiting for them to just need something just to go, oh yeah, here's Left 4 Dead 3. People be like, what?
I see you, I hear you, I respect that, I hate it.
I hate it too. I wish they would do more, especially because Valve has been known to do amazing games. I mean, I never really played Half-Life. I know Half-Life was amazing. Left 4 Dead was amazing. At least the people with Back 4 Blood, that's the people who made Left 4 Dead.
Yes, exactly. So,
So-
they are gonna hence my excitement for it is that they know how to do it and they know how to do it well, and it looks freaking awesome. I don't know how much gameplay you've seen of it. This looks like a Left 4 Dead game, but they're bringing it to the next level.
Yeah, it's gonna be
The
great.
special infected looks amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I like too, because this got announced a few weeks ago. Everything's going to be randomly generated. It's like whenever you go into an area, it's not going to be the same as when you were there last time. Whenever you do a mission, which is awesome. That means you're never going to know for sure when something's going to come at you.
That's going to
nice.
definitely make it replayable, because I'll go back and play Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2 and still have a blast, but when I open certain doors, I know what's coming for me, which it still is like, it's fine, but like it does take the excitement out of it a little bit.
Yeah. And apparently too, they said there's like, cause I know they did like a whole thing explains, but there's like a whole card system. Like you pick cards as perks, and like whatever you pick, the game will pick stuff to, like, the AI for like the game, like the zombie side picks cards to like kind of counter what you and your team has and stuff. It's a really interesting concept. I know, like from the play, like with the beta they did a month ago, people were loving it. So I'm really excited just to see. I want it to come out. I want it, and it's another one, Game Pass day one. So
Yep. Oh man, God, I wish I had a console or some sort of nice laptop to play that on. But my laptop is fine. I'm not gonna complain. It's pretty, but it can't play games. It's not a gaming laptop. But that actually, I can't believe I forgot that one. Battlefield and Back 4 Blood. I told you I was gonna forget those, and you knew it, but you remembered, so I appreciate that. But those are actually some of my top games that I'm excited about.
And then with those, I know the last one I saw that like really, like, I know I saw a few things that looked cool, like the Diablo 2 remake looked neat. I never played Diablo 2, but I played a lot of Diablo 3. So like the fact that they're remaking 2, that looked cool. I know they announced they're doing the Series X updates for Doom Eternal. That was awesome. The last game I saw that had me excited and it was a completely new IP was Redfall.
Yes, and I had texted you Left 4 Dead, but with vampires.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I don't know. I know they said it's supposed to be an open world game. That's what it said at the beginning of the trailer. It said a co-op open world game. I want to see actual gameplay, but I mean that trailer had me really interested.
Mm-hmm.
I love any game that gives you that witty banter stuff like it was doing with that. So it looked cool, and I mean I feel like not a lot of things do vampires anymore. So at least I'm glad to see vampires are getting some acknowledgement again.
Yes, and they're actually scary now. Twilight really tried to make them not scary anymore, but no, vampires are scary.
I think Twilight just killed vampires for a while. I think everyone was like, how do we do this? I mean, yeah, you can still do like, I know, like anything Skyrim related, or like Elder Scrolls related has vampires. I'm a vampire on Elder Scrolls Online, but yeah, no, like Redfall looked really cool. I'm excited to see a lot more on that. I think they said that it's a next year game, but I'm excited to see more on it. That was pretty neat. Yep, summer 2022 for that one.
I'm so looking forward to it, dude. And there's a lot of these games where it seems like the consensus for quite a few of these games is this looks awesome. We need gameplay. We need more information. And
yeah, because you can have an amazing trailer that looks awesome, and then you get that gameplay and you go, oh, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yes, yep, Cyberpunk, and same thing with movies like Suicide Squad. Awesome,
yeah,
dope, terrible execution. But yeah, the new Suicide Squad does look pretty fucking dope.
Great. I can't believe Sylvester Stallone's in it. That's still a better casting than 90% of the Borderlands movie.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, I love Kevin Hart just as much as the next guy. However,
Roland is.
Yeah, it's like he gets typecast a lot.
The only casting I was okay with that they've had so far is Jack Black.
Jack Black, yeah. I love me some Jack Black.
Because he's Claptrap. But I mean, I know Gearbox, they did a conference yesterday, and they were actually showed a lot of on-screen stuff. And I think Gearbox is even aware that they're like, we know a lot of people don't think Kevin Hart's good for this role, but because like in the thing, they're like, stick with him, like Kevin Hart's going to surprise all of you and stuff. They're like, he came on the set and he got like full action mode and stuff. And I was like, I guess I've never really seen Kevin Hart try to go action. The most I did was Cop Out. Or not Cop Out, Ride Along with Ice Cube. But I've ever seen him be an action person. That was still comedy, so I mean, more. I don't know. Stuff like that. I like to go benefit of the doubt. I wanna.
Yeah.
I wanna hope it's gonna be good, and until I sit down and watch it, I'm going to just hope and believe it's gonna be good because I don't know. I try not to be pessimistic with that kind of stuff because then you just go in and expecting it to fail.
Yes, and that's the thing is they chose him for a reason, and it could be that they want a cheesy, campy, fun character, and that's not him. But they see the potential in him playing a more brooding. Would brooding be the word? More brooding character or more brooding role.
And I guess you gotta trust the producers. 'Cause I didn't realize this. The people who are making the movie, they're the ones who did. They're the ones who helped produce the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, the X-Men movies, like the original X-Men movies, 1, 2, and 3 and stuff. So I mean, they have experience putting out good movies, and they did a little thing in like the video where they were like, yeah, we decided video games were like the next big area to go to. Like everyone's doing superhero, and like video games are the next area. So,
the last couple video game movies have been really good too, like shockingly, like because Sonic was pretty good, and Detective Pikachu was pretty good.
Any game's good when you bully the company enough, I guess.
Yeah.
With Sonic, but yeah, no, like Sonic, Detective Pikachu, Ready Player One.
Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of Ready Player One. I read the book. Everyone who didn't read the book said the movie was amazing. And so I'm just gonna say, okay, if you had a good time with it, great. That's awesome.
I never read the books, so
they're
yeah, like
very, very different.
Did they try to modernize this one from the? Well, I mean, the book was in 1980, wasn't it?
No, the book was I can't remember when. I would not be able to tell you when the book came out. It was the character loves 80s video games, but it's set distant in the future.
Okay.
And they just, in order to make a movie that wasn't going to be 3 hours long, they had to cut out a lot of very important plot details, and that didn't sit right for me. And they yada yada a lot of the characters meeting each other's, and these characters had deep depths to be discovered and to be explored, and they just didn't do that. And honestly, like, I get it, because a game like that with all those Easter eggs and stuff to find, you would have to make a 3-hour movie, and but people who didn't read the book genuinely enjoyed the film. So hey, dude, like,
do you think the sequel's going to be good? Because I know that author did a second book, and I heard the second book wasn't good.
I have also heard the second book was not good, and if that's the case, I'm probably not going to read it.
Yeah, so I wonder if the sequel movie's going to be. I mean, I didn't read the first one, and I enjoyed the first movie, so maybe that'll be the case. But
just fingers crossed.
with a couple more days left here, I know, like, I think either tomorrow or Wednesday is the Nintendo conference. Is there anything left that you're looking forward to see before E3 wraps up this year?
Oh God, the Nintendo conference. My body is ready. I wanted a Skull and Bones trailer or just some sort of update. So I'm kicking the dirt about that. I'm like, darn it.
I haven't heard anything on that in a while. I feel like they finally just went, you know what? We've been taking too long on this one, and we just can't compete with Sea of Thieves anymore.
I think if they need to take, so they were going to release it. I think the last release date they pushed out to was May of this year. I'm not sure why they aren't releasing that anymore, but they had the plans to. So because they've pushed it back, I don't know how many times, like half a dozen times they pushed it back, and so they still had something that they really wanted to get out, and so I'm still kind of hoping for anything at all, because like if you played Assassin's Creed, it looks just so great if you haven't seen the Skull and Bones gameplay.
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be like with like essentially the boat mechanics from Assassin's Creed?
Yes, that's what it was based off of. Yeah,
I would have been okay with that. I just looked up here to see if it was canceled, and it says Skull and Bones was announced by Ubisoft 2017, but the Pirate MMO has now been officially delayed until 2022 or even 2023.
I did not know they were going to go out to as late as 2023. So now my heart sinks. Well, nothing else other than Nintendo. But Ubisoft was yesterday, so
yeah, I know. I'm excited. Nintendo's about the last thing I'm looking forward to because Sony doesn't do E3 anymore. But I'm really excited to see more on Pokemon with Nintendo. Because that's about the only Nintendo stuff I play. I love everything Nintendo, but I only really play Pokemon from Nintendo. And the Diamond and Pearl remix, then that Pokemon Legends Arceus game. I am so excited to find out a lot more about that game.
The Arceus one is the open world one, right?
Yes, that's the one that looks like an actual open world Pokemon game, and I'm so excited to see more on that.
And that's the kind of the next format of games now. I mean, obviously you're always going to have platformers and stuff like that. You're always going to insert other type of game, but like open world, like especially with all these Nintendo properties, makes perfect sense. Like Zelda Breath of the Wild is the finest video game I've ever played, and which is not saying too much because I don't play that many video games, but it's one game of the year for a reason. And so making that for Pokemon only just seems natural.
I am waiting for them to finally do a Pokemon MMO because they could do it, and I don't know why they haven't yet. Because if they did it, the money they would make would be insane.
It would be ridiculous.
And it could be done. There's an unofficial Pokemon MMO mod on PC. And other games have done pretty much that. Like, there's a game it's supposed to come to console at some point, but it's on Steam now. It's called Tim Tim.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's literally Pokemon. Just everything's changed just enough that Game Freak can't sue them. And it's 100% just a Pokemon MMO. And I think I saw something else that like people were losing their minds over, where it looks like Pokemon but like with guns and stuff. But it's another one. It's an MMO style. Like, it could be done, and that's what I want as a game where you pick like you start off in a region and you just explore every region of Pokemon, and then they could update. Like, they could still have your single player once with an actual story, and then they could just update the MMO with like that region later on, like have like a separate story for that. Like, they could run two things, and people would throw money at them. I don't know why they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, maybe it's another case of where they've got something cooking and they're just not going to release it until it's absolutely 100% perfect. I don't fucking know, man. They would be so rich that their grandchildren's grandchildren will be set for life.
I could see maybe Legend Arceus, since like it looked more open world. It could be like they're kind of start into it, like, hey, let's make some games. We'll see what works, what doesn't work, and then maybe later on down the road, because the Switch could. I'm confident the Switch could run an MMO,
and especially with this new bigger version of the Switch, high definition Switch is going to come out soon. So that's even better for it.
Yeah, like it would be great if they announced that for some reason. I would love it, but I doubt they do. Honestly, I doubt they announce really anything Pokemon. Like, I want to see more, but usually they save those for their own little Pokemon direct things where they just focus on that and nothing else. So I want to see more on that. I don't know if it's going to happen, But
let us know down in the comments below what you guys are going to see, or what you guys think about this. Do you think we're going to see a massive this new Pokemon MMO this year? Do you think it's going to be coming in the near future? What are your thoughts on that?
it's my dream.
Anything else that we should touch on for the Xbox Bethesda showcase?
The only thing I could think of is I'm really surprised Xbox didn't talk about this was State of Decay 3.
Right, because we've only had a little teaser, or last year they showed us just a little teaser.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've come out with anything else personally.
Nothing since the trailer they showed last year, and I was really surprised because I figured they would have been like, that's going to come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed nothing, and I'm really surprised. I figured, because State of Decay that's a big Microsoft game. People love State of Decay. I've played a bit of 1 and 2. I have fun until I just realized I can never please my people. Then I stopped playing. But no, I mean, like, that trailer for the third one looked awesome, so I was really hoping to see more on that.
So dope. It makes no sense to me that there's like, well, I mean, what else are they waiting for? What else are they saving it for?
Maybe they're like, they want to show the trailers back. Hey, we're working on it, but maybe they don't have like enough game. I'm surprised they didn't show anything for Gears of War. I was expecting a Gears of War 6 trailer this year.
Huh. I would love to know their logic, their strategy for releasing some things, announcing some games, and waiting on others.
Yeah, it also could be.
You go ahead.
I was going to say, it also could be too, since they had Bethesda this year. They were like, well, now we have all these big games from Bethesda that we got to try to fit in here, because if you've ever watched the Bethesda conference, you know they got to touch on what's going on with Elder Scrolls Online, what's going on with Fallout 76, what's going on with not Elder Scrolls Online, like what's going on, like Skyrim or whatever, what's going on with Fallout, what's going on with Doom. Like, Bethesda has to touch a lot of things in their conference. They've always done it. So maybe Microsoft was like, all right, well, we're gonna joint this, but we know you guys have to hit all your stuff, so maybe we don't have enough time to hit everything on our own.
Right. Sorry. Yawning. Dying. Yeah, right. Okay, that makes perfect sense. I mean, we're also coming off a global pandemic that threw a monkey wrench in literally everything. So there's some of that has to play in to something there. So, well, overall, like general thoughts for everything. I thought this was one of the strongest years yet.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a great conference. I mean, for the most part, everything I saw, there was something there for everyone. Like, if you were an indie person, there was a lot of indie titles I saw that showed up. I'm not really a big indie game player, but I know I saw a lot of those. Once again, got a lot more news on Halo, which I loved. I mean, it was a great conference. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did great, so I'm hoping as the week goes, they announce a little bit more, because I know like Halo is going to do tomorrow or Wednesday. They're going to show a lot more stuff about their multiplayer. So. But yeah, no, otherwise, yep, solid conference. I mean, I guess depending on how Nintendo goes, I'd have to say, because I know every year people always like to go, well, who won E3? I mean, currently I'm going to say Microsoft did, unless Nintendo just blows it out of the water, which I'm sure they're going to show Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes, yep, that's what we're fully expecting with Rocket Talk, and that's what I'm really, really excited for. But if Breath of the Wild 2 is all they got going for them, which is probably not, then Microsoft might actually win something for once.
They might show more stuff on that Mario and Rabbids game that got announced at the Ubisoft conference yesterday.
Yes, yeah, that game has no right to be as good as it actually is. I've played it with Johnny a little bit, and Johnny loves the shit out of it. I don't love the shit out of it, but it's fun. It's fun. It actually works way better than it should. So,
I'm surprised they had Mario holding guns in that trailer.
Right?
I think I saw people were losing their shit over that, because I think that's like the first time Mario's ever had a gun in anything.
Oh man, I cannot think of anything.
Unless like you maybe count Smash Bros if he picks something up, but
yeah, but Smash Bros is you get a pass for everything on that. Wow, you're right. Yeah, so first it was his nipples, then it was the Luigi bulge, I think, and then now it's the Mario. Mario's guns.
packing, man.
Yeah, dude, that's and multiple ways.
Yep. No, otherwise overall solid solid conference. I mean, this is my favorite time of year. This is my Christmas
Nerd
right
Christmas.
here.
Nerd Christmas.
Nerd Christmas.
Hell
I
yeah,
love
dude. Yeah, what a great way to wrap it up. Microsoft, you did fantastic. Please, everybody, just let us know about your thoughts, specifically for Xbox and Bethesda, but also like if you've been keeping track of E3 this entire time, Summer Game Fest, just let us know who you think won and titles you're looking forward to for their announcements and the titles that have been your favorite. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, and Joel, where can everyone find you?
Not really anywhere currently. I'm working on that. Hopefully, by the time you guys have me on again, I'll have some things in the works.
Dude, looking so forward to that, man. So thank you so much, Joel, for being on. We always love having you on, and we got to get you on more as well. So with that, everybody, I bid you adieu. See you later.